For all you young guys who have 115-mile-an-hour swing speeds already, this isn't for you. This is for us old guys trying to catch up. Can a senior golfer increase club head speed and distance? Watch to the end, you'll find out. April 9th, 18th hole, first round of the year. It is obvious that winter has released its grip on us. The reality is, as I got older, I've lost distance, and this video is about trying to reclaim those yards. So I've embarked on a 6-week journey, and going to go through, in addition to my normal workout routine, and see if I can reclaim some of the mile an hour that I've lost. So we'll see at the end of this process whether an old guy like me can pick up some yardage. All right, well, let's get this experiment started. It's currently February 28th. I've completed my first week, but before we get into the products themselves and my observations about how my first week of training went, I thought it's important to share a little bit about me. First of all, I'm not a pro. I'm not affiliated in any way with these products. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just purely documenting my personal experience going through this routine over the 6 weeks, and we'll see where we end up. I'm a passionate golfer, play to a 5 index. I'm 63 years old, 5'10" and 175 pounds, and not unlike anybody else in our age group, we got a lot of nagging injuries from a life well lived. I've done some research on the PRGR launch monitor, and I've seen some really good reviews on it, and specifically from people who have the indoor expensive launch monitors and how it compares. So although it's not 100% as accurate, it certainly provides valid feedback. The other interesting point about it is it's really small, so you can throw it in your bag and use it on the range before playing or when you're working on certain swing aspects. And it also picks up swing speed with or without a golf ball. If you have a ball, then it picks up the ball speed as well. And then we'll do some projections based upon smash factor, etc. The speed sticks themselves, lots of pros apparently are using the product with success. So for those who don't know, it's essentially 3 weighted sticks with a light, medium, and a heavy weight, and you go through a routine, which I'll share with you in a little bit. They're claiming that over a 6-week period, you'll gain about 5%, and that'll become part of your baseline. Well, currently my driver distance is in the 240 to 250 range, with a carry of I'd say in the 220, 230 range as well. So we don't get a lot of distance on our golf course, and my 7-iron go-to is in the 150, 155. So those are kind of my baseline numbers coming into this process. My expectation would be if I could gain 15 to 20 yards off the tee, that would be tremendous. So in addition to doing the SuperSpeed routine, before I do the swings, I'm also doing a half-hour golf-specific exercise program, which is a bit of strength, balance, and then obviously some stretching. In addition to that, 3 times a week, I am doing full-body workouts that are really focused on compound movements, so it's working the core as well as the extremities and muscles. Between the combination of the commitment to do that for the 6-week period, my expectation would be beyond the 5% that SuperSpeed is claiming. But we'll see how that works out. All right, so let's talk about week 1. What I did is I warmed up, swung the club for a few days, and then did a good warm-up routine and established the baseline, which is pretty much what I expected, 95 with my driver. And as they claimed after the first session, my head speed did increase about 5 miles an hour. And what are my impressions? Well, one, it's hard work, but you're swinging hard, and yeah, you get a little bit out of breath. I was a little bit surprised at that. So the fact that you're swinging out of your shoes all the time, and that's what they promote, is you got to swing aggressively to get those, to engage your faster twitch muscles and build some speed and some strength. So it's really important that you warm up and let your body tell you what you can do, would be my suggestion. I did see some progress, 2 mile an hour gain from the beginning of the week, we'll call it the driver before, to driver after also picked up about 3 miles an hour. The lengths I'll go to get my training in. Anyways, that concludes week 2, and you're probably wondering, what am I doing outside? Actually, it's really nice, even though it's -7. The sun is really warm and there's no wind, so you need to work a little bit when you're doing this. Go through some of the numbers. So the progress is still creeping upwards. 7-iron was at 82, which is a little bump up, and the driver was at 99, still up from the baseline. Hey guys, back this week. Notice I'm wearing the home course gear, and we're at lovely Windmill Heights here in Ile Perrot. Beautiful dinner location. Off in the distance is the island of Montreal. Usually you see the twinkling lights. And then over on this side is a really challenging par 72 golf course that's easily walked. It's the best 19th hole in the business. So I'm here in the dining room doing my speed stick training and see how it goes. Can't wait to play golf. So let's take a look at the results. Overall, pretty flat week, I gotta say. Didn't really see any material gains in the swing speeds, before my session. So 7-iron was 82 last week. It stayed 82 again this week, which is still 5 miles an hour above where I was at the start. Driver creeped up by 1 to 100. Just 1 mile an hour above where I was last week, but again, 5 overall. How do you like my setup? So we are standing on what will become the first floor of the cottage rebuild. We had to stop for the winter hit because there was a shortage of supplies of floor joists and roof trusses, but we'll get going again in probably about a month, so I'm looking forward to that. It's 14 Celsius today, absolutely gorgeous. Had the drone flying, had my setup working out right in the middle of the floor. After another week, basically saw a little bit of progress. 7-iron was 82 last week and still 82 this week. Driver went up to 102, so that's a bit of a gain. And then, so only a few weeks left. Just realized that my last week will be Masters weekend, so that's usually the unofficial start of the golf season up here. So we'll be finding somewhere to play. Hey everybody, week 5 is officially in the books. When I started this process, I thought if I could increase my max speed by 10 to 12 miles an hour, which looks like I'm pretty close to that now. We have one more week of this, so let's get into the numbers for week 5. So last week, my max on the 7-iron was 82 miles an hour, and this week it topped out at 84. After the session, my max for the week was at 87 miles an hour. And then on the driver's side, last week my top was 102, and went up by 1 more mile an hour. I'm at 103, and then after my session, my max was 105. So again, we're seeing some pretty consistent, 8 to 10 mile an hour gain. Be able to hit some golf balls hopefully during the course of the week or week 6, and then report back next week and give you my impression. See if this effort was worth it. If nothing else, it's a lot of fun. Catch up to you guys. Take care. Well, everybody, week 6 is now complete, and yeah, I've seen some pretty interesting results, which I'll share with you in a minute. Just before we get there, just I want to touch base on the products themselves. So, the SuperSpeed sticks are what they are, shafts with weights on the end, and they do their job. I guess the question is, are they worth the price tag? And I guess I'd leave that up to the individual to decide that. For me, I think they've proven themselves effective. The launch monitor itself, most of the 6 weeks I wasn't hitting golf balls. So I found there was certainly a level of consistency with my swing, and I could see that, it was registering, I thought, fairly accurately. What I did notice is, since I was hitting golf balls this week, is when I swing and hit a golf ball, it seems to register a higher swing speed. So I'm not sure why that's the case, so do a little bit of research on that. And if I find anything, I'll post it down below. The results themselves are I have to say, are pretty impressive. So just to remind everybody where I started, my baseline was 77 miles an hour with my 7-iron, and where I saw at the end of week 6 was a high of 86, but consistently in the mid-80s. And now on the driver itself, started at 95, and I was able to get it up 105, consistently in the 103 to 105 range. So, 9 to 10 mile an hour gain, pretty impressive. So it does what they say it does. So I guess that's, tick mark for that. The other speeds, as far as, how fast I swung, with the green, the blue, and the red, right and left, they don't really matter. What really matters is what before I go play golf is kind of what I'm more interested in. I did mention I hit some golf balls this week. I saw some, 7-iron carries at, 160-ish. My 7-iron I would play to 150, 155. So it's definitely further, and I saw carries of like 250-ish and a little bit higher than that on the driver itself. Definitely picked up some speed. And actually, I didn't ruin my swing. The balls were going pretty straight, so pretty happy with that whole the whole result of this process. It was a lot of fun doing this. It allowed me to combine two passions that I have. One obviously is golf, and the other is I started toying around with filming and video editing. So yeah, lots of fun, 6 weeks. It gave me a goal and a sense of purpose, and so hopefully you'll find this somewhat entertaining and at least mildly informative. If you have any questions, pop them down below. You made it this far. I really thank you for watching this, and yeah, hit them long, hit them straight.